My retirement account showed $2,500 instead of $180,000. I stared at the screen until my eyes burned, but the numbers didn't change. This has to be a mistake. I whispered to my empty office. 27 years at Morrison Construction, and this was my farewell gift. A computer error that wiped out my future. I grabbed my phone with shaking hands and dialed the number I knew by heart. Campbell Financial Services, David speaking. His voice was smooth, professional like always. David, it's Barbara. There's something wrong with my account. The balance dash. Oh hey Barbara. Congratulations on your retirement. Listen, can we talk about this tomorrow? I'm with a client right now. No, we need to talk now. My account shows dash. The line went dead. I sat back in my chair, surrounded by boxes packed with 27 years of my life. The retirement party was in 3 hours. Everyone would ask about my plans. The cruise I'd booked, the cottage I'd been eyeing. All paid for with money that apparently didn't exist. My hands trembled as I called the brokerage firm directly. Mrs. Hill? Yes, I see your account here. The last major transaction was, let me see, a withdrawal of $177,500 on March 15th. The authorization shows your electronic signature. March 15th. My daughter Jennifer's birthday. The day I'd been at her house, celebrating with cake and champagne, while someone drained my life savings. Who authorized this withdrawal? I'm sorry, but I can only discuss account details with you or your designated financial advisor, Mr. Campbell. I hung up and immediately called Jennifer. Mom? Aren't you supposed to be at your retirement party? Jennifer, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. Has David been having any problems? Financial problems? Silence stretched between us like a chasm. Mom, why would you ask that? Because my retirement money is gone. All of it. And David won't take my calls. That's impossible. David's been so careful with your investments. He shows me the statements every month. He shows you my statements. Another pause. Too long. I should go, Mom. The kids need dash. Jennifer Marie Hill Campbell. Don't you dare hang up on me. But she did. I grabbed my purse and drove straight to Campbell Financial Services. The office was dark, but David's Mercedes sat in the parking lot. I pounded on the glass door until my knuckles bled. Barbara? David appeared, loosening his tie. What are you doing here? Open this door. Now. He hesitated, then turned the lock. Look, I know you're upset about the account balance, but there's a reasonable explanation dash. $177,000, David. Where is it? His face went pale. How did you dash? Where is my money? David ran his hands through his hair. It's complicated. There was an investment opportunity, a sure thing. The returns were going to be incredible. You stole my retirement money for an investment without my permission? I didn't steal anything. I was going to triple your money and have it back before you noticed. But the deal fell through, and now I need time to fix this. Time. I laughed, but it came out like a sob. I retire today, David. Today. I have bills, I have plans dash. I know. Look, I can get you some money by next week. Maybe $20,000 to start. $20,000? Out of $180,000. David's phone buzzed. He glanced at it and his face changed. Who's texting you? Nobody. Just work stuff. I lunged for his phone. The message was from Jennifer. Did you tell her about the house yet? What house? My voice was barely a whisper. David closed his eyes. We used some of the money for a down payment. Jennifer found this amazing place in Bellevue, and the market was moving so fast dash. You bought a house with my retirement money? It's an investment. The house will appreciate, and we'll pay you back with interest. Plus, Jennifer's always wanted to live in Bellevue. I stared at this man I trusted with my future. This man who'd married my daughter, who'd called me mom for 8 years. Does Jennifer know? She knows we borrowed some money from your account, but she doesn't know how much. She thinks it's just for the down payment. How much? $50,000. And the other $127,000. David's silence was answer enough. Pause here. What would you do if you discovered your son-in-law had stolen your life savings, and your daughter might be involved? My phone rang. Marcus Johnson, my colleague from Morrison Construction. Barbara? You missed your party. Everyone's worried. Marcus, I need your help. Can you meet me at my house in an hour? Of course. What's wrong? I looked at David, who was staring at his shoes like a guilty child. I'll explain when you get there. And Marcus, bring your laptop. We're going to need to do some investigating. After I hung up, David grabbed my arm. Barbara, please don't do anything rash. Let me talk to Jennifer first. Get your hands off me. My voice was ice. You have until tomorrow morning to tell me exactly where every penny of my money went. Every penny, David, or I'm calling the police. You can't call the police. Think about Jennifer. Think about the kids, Dash. I am thinking about them. I'm thinking about how they're going to feel when they find out their father is a thief. I drove home through rush hour traffic, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles went white. The house I'd lived in for 15 years suddenly felt foreign. Everything looked the same, but nothing was the same. My future had evaporated in a single afternoon. Marcus arrived with his laptop and a bottle of wine. Talk to me, Barbara. What happened? I told him everything. About the missing money, about David's investment, about the house in Bellevue. Marcus listened without interrupting, his face growing darker with each detail. Son of a bitch, he muttered when I finished. Barbara, this isn't just theft. This is wire fraud, possibly money laundering. We need to document everything. I don't want to send my daughter's husband to prison. Your daughter's husband stole your life savings. What you want doesn't matter anymore. What matters is getting your money back and making sure he doesn't do this to anyone else. Marcus opened his laptop. Let's start with public records. If they bought a house, there's a paper trail. 20 minutes later, we found it. A 4-bedroom colonial in Bellevue. Purchase price, $400,000. Down payment, $200,000. $200,000? I stared at the screen. He said 50. Marcus pulled up more records. Barbara, look at this. The house isn't just in David and Jennifer's names. There's a third name on the deed. My blood turned to ice. Who? Rebecca Campbell. David's sister. His sister? But she lives in Portland. Why would she dash? I stopped. Marcus, pull up everything you can find on Rebecca Campbell. 5 minutes later, we had our answer. Rebecca Campbell owned 3 investment properties in Portland, all purchased in the last 6 months, all with significant cash down payments. He's been running a family operation, Marcus said quietly, using client money to buy real estate through his sister. My phone buzzed. A text from Jennifer. Mom, can we talk? David told me what happened. I'm coming over. She's coming here, I told Marcus. Good. We need to know how much she really knows. 20 minutes later, Jennifer knocked on my door. She looked terrible, mascara smeared, hair disheveled, eyes red from crying. Mom, I'm so sorry. I had no idea, Dash. How much did you know, Jennifer? She collapsed onto my couch. I knew David borrowed money from your account for the house, but he said it was just $20,000, and he was going to pay it back before you retired. $20,000. Not $200,000. Jennifer's face went white. 200? That's not possible. I showed her the property records on Marcus's laptop. Jennifer stared at the screen like it might change if she looked hard enough. I don't understand. We only put down $50,000 on the house. According to these records, you put down $200,000. And there's more, Jennifer. David's been buying properties with his sister using client money. That's impossible. David would never dash. She stopped, her hand flying to her mouth. Oh God. The business trips to Portland. He said he was visiting Rebecca because she was sick. How often has he been going to Portland? Every month for the past year. Sometimes twice a month. Jennifer's voice was barely a whisper. Mom, I swear I didn't know. You have to believe me. I looked at my daughter, really looked at her. The designer purse, the expensive shoes, the highlights that cost more than I spent on groceries in a month. Jennifer, where did you think the money was coming from? The house, the new car, the private school for the kids. David said business was good. He said he'd landed some big clients. Tears streamed down her face. Mom, I was an idiot. I should have asked more questions, but I didn't want to seem like I didn't trust him. Marcus cleared his throat. Jennifer, we need to know everything. Every trip, every purchase, every conversation about money. Because if we're going to get your mother's money back, we need the whole picture. For the next 2 hours, Jennifer told us everything she could remember. The trips to Portland, the whispered phone calls, the times David had asked her to sign papers without reading them. He said they were just routine investment documents. He said I wouldn't understand the financial language anyway. By midnight, we had a clear picture. David had been stealing from multiple clients for over a year, using the money to buy properties with his sister. The properties were then rented out, with the income split between David and Rebecca. It was a sophisticated scheme that might have gone undetected for years if I hadn't retired early. How much do you think he's stolen total? Jennifer asked. Marcus showed her his calculations. Based on the property values and what we know about the other accounts, probably close to $2 million. Jennifer went pale. $2 million? From how many people? At least a dozen clients. Maybe more. My daughter looked at me with desperate eyes. Mom, what are we going to do? Before I could answer, my phone rang. David. Barbara, please don't hang up. I need to explain. Explain? You've stolen $2 million from your clients, David. What is there to explain? Silence. How did you know it was $2 million? Because we've been doing our homework. We know about Rebecca, we know about the properties, we know about the other clients. The question is, what are you going to do about it? I need time. If you go to the authorities now, everyone loses. The properties are worth more than what I borrowed. If you give me 2 years, I can sell everything and pay everyone back with interest. Borrowed? You mean stole? I was going to pay it all back. With what money, David? You've been spending the rental income, haven't you? On what? Gambling? Drugs? Another woman. Another long silence. David. There's something else you need to know. His voice was barely audible. The properties aren't worth what we paid for them. The market crashed in Portland. We're underwater on all of them. I felt the room spin. How underwater? Maybe 60 cents on the dollar. Jennifer grabbed my arm. What does that mean? Marcus answered for me. It means even if they sell everything, your mother might get back $60,000. Out of $180,000. Jennifer started sobbing. David, how could you do this? How could you do this to my mother? I was trying to make money for everyone. I thought the market would keep going up. You thought wrong, I said. David, listen to me very carefully. You have 24 hours to come up with a plan that gets me my money back. All of it. If you can't do that, I'm going to the FBI. The FBI? Barbara, please 24 hours. I hung up and looked at Marcus and Jennifer. We need a lawyer. Tonight. Marcus nodded. I know someone. Sarah Mitchell. She specializes in investment fraud. I'll call her. While Marcus made calls, Jennifer sat beside me on the couch. Mom, I'm so sorry. I should have protected you from this. You shouldn't have had to protect me from your own husband. What am I going to do? If David goes to prison Jennifer, David stole $2 million. He's not going to get a slap on the wrist. But the kids the kids will be fine. You'll make sure of that. But first, we need to focus on getting the money back for everyone he stole from. Marcus hung up the phone. Sarah's meeting us at her office at 8 a.m. She says cases like this move fast once the authorities get involved. We need to be ready. The next morning, Sarah Mitchell was everything Marcus had promised: sharp, experienced, and angry on our behalf. This is a classic Ponzi scheme, she said after reviewing our evidence. He was using new client money to pay returns to existing clients. The real estate purchases were just a way to hide the money. Can we get the money back? I asked. Some of it. The FBI will freeze all the assets, and there'll be a liquidation. But realistically, you might see 30 to 40 cents on the dollar. That's not enough. I need that money to live on. Sarah leaned forward. Barbara, there might be another option. If you're willing to work with the FBI, we might be able to recover more assets. But it would mean going undercover. Undercover? I'm 55 years old and I just lost my retirement. I'm not exactly FBI material. Actually, you're perfect. David doesn't know how much you've figured out. If you can get him to admit more details about the scheme, maybe reveal other accounts or properties, the recovery could be much higher. I looked at Jennifer. What do you think? I think you should nail the bastard to the wall. That afternoon I called David. Barbara, thank God. I've been thinking about what we discussed. I want to meet. Tonight. But not at your office. Somewhere public. Okay. How about that restaurant where we had Jennifer's birthday dinner? Perfect. The same place where he'd been celebrating while stealing my money. I met him at 7, wearing a wire provided by FBI agent Lisa Park. David looked terrible, unshaven, wrinkled clothes, hollow eyes. Barbara, I want you to know how sorry I am. This got out of hand so fast. Tell me about the other clients, David. How many people did you steal from? It wasn't stealing. I was investing their money. In real estate they didn't know about. How many people? David rubbed his face. 15 clients. But I was making money for all of them until the market turned. 15 people trusted you with their life savings, and you gambled it all on real estate. It wasn't gambling. Real estate always goes up. Except when it doesn't. Like now. David leaned across the table. Barbara, I can fix this. Rebecca has another property deal in Vancouver. If we can just get some bridge financing. You want to steal more money to cover up the money you already stole? It's not stealing if I pay everyone back. I stood up. David, you're going to prison. The only question is for how long? His face changed. You're wearing a wire. Yes. You bitch. You goddamn bitch. David's voice rose, causing other diners to stare. I trusted you. I thought we could work this out as a family. Family doesn't steal from family, David. He started to get up, but Agent Park appeared beside our table with 2 other agents. David Campbell, you're under arrest for wire fraud, mail fraud, and investment advisor fraud. As they cuffed him, David looked at me with pure hatred. You've destroyed your daughter's life. You know that, right? Jennifer will never forgive you for this. Jennifer will thank me for stopping you before you stole even more. The FBI raid on Campbell Financial Services made the evening news. By the next morning, the story was front-page news. Local financial advisor arrested in $2 million Ponzi scheme. My phone rang constantly. Other clients, reporters, even old colleagues from Morrison Construction calling to check on me. But the call I was waiting for came at noon. Mom. Jennifer's voice was small, broken. How are you holding up? The FBI was at the house this morning. They seized David's computers, his files, even his car. The kids are asking questions I don't know how to answer. Tell them the truth. Their father made some very bad choices, and now he has to face the consequences. Mom, I need to ask you something and I need you to be honest. Did you know this would happen when you met with him last night? I paused. Yes. So you set him up. I helped the FBI gather evidence to recover stolen money. David set himself up the day he decided to steal from his clients. Jennifer was quiet for a long moment. Good. 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 He deserved it. And Mom? I'm proud of you. It took guts to do what you did. 6 months later, David pled guilty to 15 counts of wire fraud and was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison. Rebecca was sentenced to 3 years. The asset recovery process netted 68 cents on the dollar for the victims. Better than Sarah had predicted, but still devastating for people who'd lost their life savings. I got back $122,000. Not enough for the retirement I'd planned, but enough to start over. With my experience in construction accounting and my newfound expertise in financial fraud, the FBI offered me a consulting position helping with white-collar crime investigations. Jennifer divorced David while he was awaiting sentencing. She kept the house. The court ruled that since it had been purchased with stolen money, David had no equity claim to it. She's rebuilding her life, and we're closer now than we've been in years. Sometimes betrayal strips away everything you thought you knew about your life. But sometimes, in the ashes of that destruction, you find something stronger than what you lost. I may not have the retirement I plan, but I have something more valuable. The knowledge that I can survive anything, and the satisfaction that comes from fighting back when someone tries to destroy you. David thought he was stealing my future. Instead, he gave me a new purpose. And that's worth more than any retirement account could ever be. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you trusted with your finances? How did you handle it?